Good morning, Bernard. My name is Asawa. I live at Bechile. Please, the DUMSOR situation in Bechile is hell. The light goes off abnormally. Anytime the light goes off, I call the ECG customer care and they keep giving me excuses upon excuses. Our light went off on Wednesday around 2 a.m. and came back yesterday at 10 p.m. It went off this dawn again. Came back and went off again. The annoying part is it goes off and on like a child playing with a light like 10 times a day. Indeed, residents of Weija Gbawe are calling on ECG and Gridco to resolve the ongoing power fluctuations affecting the community. They've been speaking to City News' Philip Nilate in this quick report.
In recent times, individuals in parts of the country have been complaining about erratic power supply. The issue appears to have worsened in some regions, including Greater Accra, Volta, and Ashanti. In the Greater Accra region, the inconsistent power supply has prompted the MP for Weija Gbawe, Jerry Ahmed Shai, to express his dissatisfaction. In a statement, he noted that residents of Weija Gbawe are severely bearing the brunt of the problem. He's, however, demanding answers from the power distribution company, ECG. On the ChannelOne newsroom, we have come to Weija Gbawe to assess the current situation. In the Weija Gbawe constituency, we understand that the erratic power supply happens in areas like Aigbetan, Oblogo, Ashbred, and Tetego. We are currently in the Oblogo area, and we will speak to some residents and find out from them what the issue is and how the situation is affecting them in this area.
One more time, my light off. Last 2 weeks, almost 2 o'clock, and so almost so. Be over 6 o'clock, be over 8 o'clock. No more doom. I just said 12, and now 1 number so. And so to me saw no vision. I saw other first Kaswa calling in Umbeso. I had here almost so. I need to take. Pa Omobom Coco. Will be any whole boy coco, and one say war off. A bounces will be any whole becatch the war. Naba. The Enucrapa say MP the kind of crap. On Chantro. I told the higher pa, this one big Jaya, my dear, and Kiepe. We say, light in Pusenke back a year, and I say beer, and Opampa can hide. Nana Jufana will be a bedano, what do light? Be or her, need die to heavy, and if I know what or that bontis will be an obi plano.
Recently, I think 2 weeks ago, you do light around 8:30, about 2 a.m. Until the whole night in say and I may back to Accra over 1 month, 2 weeks. Now here do I am light out and show near there. And easy. Even 3 days ago, the same thing. Yet me doom ya happy. Now around me now light until no credit, no crepa say doom light. Solution be over. I was a moya fahua and cabe boy and pa because she say I'm quite prepaid. And the prepaid na yes and doom light the anka first name beer, say nipan into your light beer. And I fancy be a udumuna, and if I'm not being about to be a bill now on 20. But you see, I prepaid. Yani, I told you prepared to say, doom lighter. I'm what? This is a solution. Be on I was say,
This is Jama Junction within the constituency, and behind me is a welder. He relies solely on electricity. Obeni, good morning.
Good morning.
What was saying?
The problem Great Shamu Metawis.
Great Shamu
Metawis.
But Odian Kasai.
Frank Jane. I had a problem to see a pa because a may do when you do me because I said you want me light in you by what the whole day light off. The what 2 days cry off. ATM why you crack bino wine just idea. Yeah, bread. Because you do me light in quack machine. Your man light off pay or off. But much of be about 3 days 4 days. Oh, so light new wa better yeduma. When you light your machines go in light in quania dear. It's a awful pet of food trophy. Light bar. Now do make a better abayeduma. MY.
Light off no ombe ma ombom coco.
Did be oh off. On tishy, oh yeduma friend or so could be trying. Over chance and my what 3-4 hours am I? Now tia, a bape no dimika giddy. Because we'll be in a juma. That's a light of our bed. In fact, your problem. your problem. Sabano wanya wonhwe ye dwuma egu.
Still assessing the impact of erratic power supply in the Weija Gbawe constituency, we are engaging some business owners and individuals who rely solely on electricity for their day-to-day activities.
Electricity in the very poor. Yeah, look and current. If you are not there, Latin day and your daytime and so on and off, and you will move. It's a say, and Crawford, I can say Weija Gbawe, we will do my lights and nti omo hwe na omo nya hu bibi ya ma yen
pa cha engine so na ombedum so man ya we na ehu so ombedum no yeah.
Meanwhile, the Member of Parliament for Weija Gbawe, Jerry Ahmed Shaib, has been speaking about the issue.
What we have done is, first of all, to have some conversations with the ECG and by extension Gridco. Over the period, especially in the past month, it's been more drastic. And we've been wondering why the disproportion in the constituency, that is the Weija Gbawe constituency. The very good people of Weija Gbawe are of the view that why is it that we have committed some offense or crime? Because although we are well aware of the national crisis, because we know that there are power outages out there, in our case, it's been more rampant. My intention is to reach out to the minister on Tuesday. Yes, my intention is to go back to perhaps Gridco and find out what is happening. And I'll rally the support of some opinion leaders to get to go with me. Because everywhere to be the normal, maybe 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, sometimes even a day, I think that I won't be pushing this much. But it's become more like, in Weija Gbawe, there is a certain problem. We don't see the problem. We see that we only suffer 3 days, 4 days, sometimes more. So why is that the case?
So that was a Weija Gbawe MP. So I'm going to do a quick experiment. So in the next 5 minutes, I want you to tell me whether this is a local issue or whether it's widespread. So if you wherever you're listening for this, let me know. This people's situation seems pretty serious for the way you describe it, but I don't know about other listeners and whether they've had the same level of outage. For example, here in Adabraka, I don't see that level of outage.
Well, if you monitor social media, you see people post comments talking about how DUMSOR is affecting them in their respective.
And this is from
places.
all over the country?
I wouldn't say all over the country, but you get to see those comments, and it would seem that there is a challenge that has got to be resolved. Yesterday, I drew your attention to a story that the Minister of Finance, Honorable Atul Forson, speaking in the US, said the energy sector was the greatest risk the economy was facing, and that there was some 2 billion or so debt there that has got to be dealt with, or some funding gap that has got to be dealt with. So there is some
it's a money issue.
Yeah, and we have got to deal with it. Somehow we have not been able to get around the problem.
And I don't also think they are telling us clearly why people are having power outages. If they had said, for example, we have a production shortfall, or there are some issues with transmission, would have known. But there's so much noise in the energy sector now. ECG missing containers, the energy sector is the risk. So there isn't that level of clarity, and I think it makes the thing probably worse. Let's read a few quick comments to just get a sense of the situation, and then the news team can follow up. So Sky, if you can just help me read a few of these ones.
Good morning, Bernard. The situation at Hohoe is terrible. Low voltage is killing us. Our gadgets can't cope anymore. It always starts around 6 p.m. and sometimes during the day. We've not had any good explanation from the ECG over the problem. It's coming in from
So this
Kofi.
is Hohoe,
Hohoe
in the Volta region. Okay.
This one said the light off situation is more difficult here in Community 25 in Tema. This is from Nene.
Okay, so we have Tema.
And this one says the light situation is likewise worse, in the Kumasi area. Yesterday and today, I have to repeat the outfit I wore to work on Tuesday due to light out. It's coming in from Kweku. Repeating your outfit, how did you do that?
Because he didn't iron enough.
Oh, Charlie.
So he wore Tuesday, he dried it and wore it again yesterday.
Hey, Charlie.
Sent him no.
Wash away.
He can't even wash it, he can't iron it.
So that's difficult. Please shed some light on the persistent power outages in the Ogbojo area. This is in Accra.
Okay.
For the past 3 days, we've experienced a constant on and off electricity. Power briefly returned yesterday, only to go off again last night. And as of now, is still off. What's more frustrating is that nearby areas like Trasacco, where my brother lives, haven't had it nearly as bad. We would really appreciate some clarity on or intervention on this.
So there are local disparities
Yeah.
in the challenge. So could it be localized faults?
Well, maybe Trasacco has his own way of sometimes dealing with the challenge, even if it is there.
Okay.
Because that's a prime area.
So we've had Hohwe, we've had Weija, we've had Kumasi, we've had Ogbojo, and now we are hearing Community 25,
Yeah, Community
and
25.
then Trasacco area. Where else do you have?
This one says, good morning. Please,
Yeah.
I would like your team to help us understand this about ECG's customer service, specifically their lack of communication with customers regarding power outages. Despite numerous complaints, customers are not provided with updates on the status of the issue. For some time now, the country has been experiencing power outages, and their feedback basically remains the same. Nothing to write home about. Most of the time, they will tell you, they will inform their engineers to investigate the matter. However, the issue persists. Now, with the same power outage recurring,
At the same time, every week, on specific times.
This raises concerns about the competence of the engineers or the transparency of ECG's communication with customers. Bernard, can you please help us to kindly invite some experts to shed light on the situation, as citizens have the right to know what's causing these frequent power outages, especially since we pay our bills.
All right.
An increase is about to happen.
Okay.
So they're talking about bill increases, and they are talking about the need for reliable service. It's coming in from Parkofi.
As they say,
who's not happy about
if you want to speak to God, speak to the wind. So we are putting this out. I know the ministry is listening. I know ECG, Gridco, and all these other people are listening. And if they have a response, we are very happy to receive it. But if you look at the numbers, so far, Kumasi is Asante region, Western region also complain. Volta region, at least Hawaii has complained. A lot of Greater Accra has complained as well. Another one I just got from Ajen Kotoku. It says the light goes off every evening around 7 p.m. and it's been so for the past 3 weeks. So,
there's one here from Spintex.
okay.
It says a place called Collins Dauda area. Collins Dauda area in Spintex. So we haven't had light since the morning of Tuesday.
As in this week, Tuesday.
Yes.
Hey,
Fred, you have to call somebody because you see, it's becoming serious.
there's a pattern.
There's a pattern. Now, this one says every day for the last 4 days at night, low current. So my fridge guard turns off my fridge like every 15 minutes. This is from Kakasunaka number 2.
That's after Tema, isn't it?
Kakasunaka is on the
Michelle
way to
Camp area.
yes, Michelle Camp area. So those are some of the comments, and I hope the authorities are mapping out the places the complaints are coming from, so they can decide exactly what's going on.
They know.
How they know?
I mean,
they know.
yes. I mean, in
So
When
why-
the light goes off, you know.
But why wouldn't they
won't.
tell us?
they have a system
Yeah,
that
they know.
monitors the whole country. So
Except the old system that is not plugged onto the dashboard, but
Okay.
they know. And they are just inundated with these things because the queuing for service, maintenance, and repairs has outgrown their capabilities and their resources. And so they may explain the issues away and still not get it done.
What do you think? Do you think it's money?
Oh, it's clearly it's
So
money.
so they need to change some of the things.
Yes,
like-
I mean
like
we
those
have
transformers
look,
and those kind of
our consumption definitely is outstripping the supply. That's a fact.
Not necessarily generation, but like the
Distribution.
Yeah, the distribution.
Yes.
Okay.
The distribution is in tatters.
So they need to buy new
They have
transformers,
to-
new transmission lines, and
Exactly.
all those things.
They have to do that.
Okay.
And it comes at a cost, huge cost. You know. But he said today I shouldn't go into.
Yeah, I know you are very emotive about this. You
but
start
it would
talking and
seem
start.
that there's a lot of outrage because the comments keep pouring in.
Yeah.
Bernard.
And the other thing is that even though ECG has been in the news for the past 3-4 weeks on these containers, it hasn't really addressed, which is what is making it annoying. So they are talking about missing containers and all these things, but they are not really telling us what he is saying, that look, the system needs an upgrade. So we can put the dots together. The system needs an upgrade. The finance minister says there's no money in terms of being the weakest link because of the debts. They want to increase tariffs end of April. So to connect the dots, they may need more money to upgrade the system until they do that. The lucky thing is that it's not a generation problem like, say, maybe the water
Like
level in
before.
Akosombo is down,
Yeah.
or there's no gas, which is why it's not like there's not panic stations yet. So it's more like the places where the system has problems, they will face the challenge. Get it? It's not gotten to a stage where like you have to shed load. I think that's where we are now, which is why it's not become.
We just have chosen a very expensive path of using thermal energy.
Exactly.
It's very expensive.
Exactly.
It's consistent, it's reliable, but expensive. And the associated accessories to deliver the service is also very expensive. And I don't know how I'm going to say this without talking about local content. That's why the Energy Commission and Parliament came out with a forceful energy local content for the energy sector. So that this thing of every day trying to travel to import can be curtailed.
Because it raises our costs.
Yes. And
they are importing.
I don't know
tell
who
me,
allowed
they are
that.
importing cables. They are importing all these things. Meanwhile, there are companies that are here that can do it, and we can use that to reduce the price if we want to. So it's a very important point.
I lost my thought, but the point I was trying to make is if we really want to solve our problems, we know what to do to solve our problems. Only that we'll choose a path that benefits only a few people.
For example, the point you made about the thermal. Now we have gas. Hopefully, if we get the system to move the gas to the eastern part from the west, because gas is a much cheaper version.
Why is that taking forever?
I think the investment. The gas that they started in the Western Enclave has helped with the power mix, because gas is a transitional fuel. So gas is much cheaper than, say, crude or any of these heavy fuel oils. So the gas thing is great, all right, which is why. But the problem is that the facilities that can produce the gas are mostly in the eastern side, and the gas is from the western side, which is why in the past the gas usually comes from Nigeria, and it still does. But they are working on it. So I think the Minister of Energy said they are prioritizing a gas
pipeline.
Yes, as one of the key. And what it does is that because gas is also cleaner, you also benefit. So it's cheaper, it's cleaner, and it's more readily available from our oil than the fuels we import.
Yeah, but Bernard, I think beyond the long-term solutions they are dealing with, look, they have made it clear that they want to deal with solar as one of the ways of encouraging people to invest in that space and become self-reliant. I think it ought to have reflected in the budget. Solar if you decide to wipe off all the import duties that you impose on the importation of solar systems into the country. That is one way of doing it.
And that's to increase the generation problem.
Exactly.
Our biggest problems now
it's not generation.
It's at the distribution level.
That's the issue. Which is why ECG is the issue.
I understand that. But you see, once you do that, right, you ease the problems that customers like you, your good self, and many other people are facing.
But Sky,
I get what you mean. You are saying the domestic use of solar.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, of
so
course,
that's another solution.
Yeah.
I don't intend to. So listeners, what we've done is we've raised the issue and we'll follow it throughout our various channels. So as you know, we have City Prime News, we have of course Eyewitness News, and then we have the bulletins on ChannelOne television as well. So I'm raising this, hoping that the team will pick it up and follow it through for the rest of the weekend.
Interest, if you care to know, just read the publication by David Ofosu-Dotte on it says the Hydra-headed challenges of the proposed privatization of ECG.
Why don't you send it to me too?
Yeah, I'll send it to you. He wrote this a few months ago.
Yes, I couldn't read it.
I mean, if
it
you
deals
read
with
this
all
thing,
the issues.
it tells you the whole story.
Yeah.
It tells you the whole story. So I don't know why we sit down and listen. If you are in opposition, you can say anything, but keeping the lights on
is a problem.
Keeping the lights on is not a technical issue. It's not just a financial issue. It's attitudinal too. You have to wrong some people. You have to rebuke some people. You have to deal with. It comes with this.
It's a lot of things.
Yeah. So now
that's
it's
what
time
I
to
mean
keep the lights on. Hydra-headed. Yes.
It has many heads. When you cut one, another comes. Ofosu-Dotte said something I like today. He's a very wise man. He said, in every problem there's a solution, but every solution also creates another problem. I thought that was quite interesting.
That's a leadership issue.
Yeah. So then he said, unity means acting together, not acting alone as one. All right, now let me go to the next issue. Or you want to read a few more comments on the power?
Well, I mean, once they are pouring, we can
just read a few more because I want to go to the road sector next.
Okay, so this one says
today we are doing sector by sector analysis today. So today, John Jinapo, you are the first minister I'm calling.
We see power outage.
We need a clear statement from the agencies under you on the power situation, So please direct ECG, Gridco, and VRA to come together and issue a well coordinated statement on the power situation. So that's my assignment for the minister.